Hello, world. How are we doing today, folks? Who all's out there? Hey, we got a couple. Loudy 0106, that Nacho guy, and one other joined. Hi, everybody. Have you been to the new NerdHQ? NerdHQ.org. Go check it out if you haven't already. I mean, you don't have to do it right now. You can wait till after this live is over, and then you can go check it out. Hello from Tennessee. Well, hi, Tennessee. Oh, hi, Brian. Brian. How you doing, buddy? Miss you. Oh, guys, it's been too long. It's been too long since I've done a live. Hey, buddy. Well, listen, I wanted to come on specifically to talk about NerdHQ, which is back in full effect. Some of you might remember it from back in the day. Some of you may not. But if you are unfamiliar with what NerdHQ was, basically, one of my dear friends, Dave Coleman, he and I created an apparel brand years ago called The Nerd Machine. And it was really just fun. It was like Nike for nerds. It was like kind of generic, fun nerd branding that people could wear. And we were, trying to promote that brand and sell that merch. And in an attempt to do that, we created this event that was 4 days and 3 nights at San Diego Comic-Con. And it was dance parties, and it was gaming and tech and fun celebrity interactive experiences that all raised money for charity. And we did that for 7 years. And then for reasons that I won't get into right now, we were basically run out of town. And so I had to shutter the event. I couldn't get sponsors anymore for it. And then I was like, well, you know what? We never really made a lot of money as a for-profit company, but we raised a lot of money for nonprofit. So I'm just going to take NerdHQ and I'm going to turn it into a full 501c3. And though we raise a lot of money for Operation Smile, which is an incredible organization in their own right, back in the day, since my own mental health breakdown 7 years ago and the journey that I have been on and continue to be on, mental health is like the most important thing I could possibly fight for. So I was like, well, I think I'm going to turn this into a mental health 501c3, and I'm going to try and make as much of an impact as I can in helping as many people heal their hearts and their minds as I can. And since therapy, I think we've done a really good job of destigmatizing mental health and mental illness over the last 20 years. Like, honestly, bravo. Well done, everybody. We've done a really good job of destigmatizing it. There is still this crazy barrier of entry, which is that people can't afford therapy. And if our government is not going to help us, if our medical industry is not going to help us, if they are not going to help to subsidize and help people heal, like truly heal their hearts and minds, then damn it, let's try to do it privately. So I'm going to raise as much money as I possibly can to put into a big bucket that is going to help us to continue to do more events, which are good for people's hearts and minds and souls, particularly the dance parties. Because if we've learned nothing else, we've learned that dancing is the best antidote for depression and anxiety. That's a fact. That's a stat. You can see that online. And we do that very well, those dance parties. But also getting people from being online into in real life communication and community and connection. That's what our NerdHQ events are going to be about. Really building real community and connection and creativity. Lots of alliteration and all that. Lots of dance parties and lots more celebrity interactive experiences, all for charity. Whilst also simultaneously, all year long, people will have the opportunity to bid on auction items at our website. We're going to have random things that all types of your favorite celebrities will sign and they will send in. And I've told everyone, the celebrities I'm reaching out to, listen, it could be an old Comic-Con badge. It could be an old script. It could be a prop from a set. It could be a tchotchke, a toy. It could be fan art. I get a lot of fan art. A lot of my friends who do conventions, we get a lot of fan art. Some of it's really, really amazing. We don't know what to do with it. We did not plan on getting it. We did not bring a suitcase to travel home with it. And even if we did, we don't know what to do with a lot of this fan art because it's of us. And I don't know too many people who are so narcissistic that they like having a bunch of paintings of their own face in their home. We don't really have shrines of ourselves at our homes. I know, shocker. So it's a weird thing. It's like, well, what do you do with this really cool, amazing gift that someone's just given you, but you don't have room to bring home with you, and you don't know what to do with it if you did bring it home? And guys, I figured out the solution. They're just going to sign that, and then they're going to send it into us at NerdHQ, and then we can put it up for auction. And then, by the way, you, the people out there, you get to bid on one of one artwork. It's not just another headshot. It's not just another piece or cool poster that other people might have in their possession. No. It's an original fan art piece of myself or Jared Padalecki or Stephen Amell or Nathan Fillion or Karen Gillan or Chris Pratt. I don't know. Pick your celebrity. We all get really interesting fan art gifts and other gifts for that matter, and we don't really know what to do with them a lot of times. And I was like, man, this just shouldn't be. Let's try to figure out how to transmute all that into raising more money for therapy for anyone and everyone in this world who can't afford it, which is most of the people in this world. So anyway, also, by the way, if you go to the website, there's a donate button all day long, every day. There's a donate button. For everyone out there who's been asking me, how do we help? How do we support? Well, listen, we're going to have events and we're going to need volunteers at those events. But aside from the events, every day, all day, you know what you can do? You can go and you can message your favorite celebrities and you can say, hey, favorite celebrity, whoever you are, Zachary Levi, that schmucko who played Chuck and Flynn Rider and Shazam, has this really cool 501c3 raising money for mental health and therapy for all. And please sign and send in some random things to NerdHQ, and they'll put them up for auction. And you, the fans, will then get to go and bid on those things. I think it's the best thing I can do to use my platform to this crazy, wacky platform that we're given as celebrities, which is so not real life, and it's really not healthy in a lot of ways. And yet we have it. Here we are, right? So what's the best way we can use that to go help make the world a better place? And there's so many other, by the way, there's so many great 501c3s and nonprofits and so many celebrities that fight for those nonprofits, and I want them to keep doing that. But I would love for any and all of them to want to donate to NerdHQ. And by the way, the goal is to really, because I've said this for years, everyone's nerdy about something. So a lot of these initial auctions are going to be your typical kind of nerddoms, sci-fi genre, fantasy actors, voice actors, whatever. They're donating items. But eventually, I want to have every industry covered. I want, for all of you sports nerds out there, I want celebrity athletes sending in signed balls or, I don't know, helmets or lacrosse sticks, or, my buddy Dave Castillo, who's my stunt double for many years. He's a big motocross guy. He's going to reach out to his motocross friends and say like, hey, you got any random things like a broken, nameplate or things that from a crash like whatever it is, anime. Sure. I'm seeing that. Yes. Anything and everything that people want to send in. The idea is just to make it fun, guys. It's to make it fun. So often, we're asked, as celebrities, it's like, hey, there's a big gala going on, right? Some big, gala where very wealthy people get dressed up and they pay a lot of money to get a table and to have, some dried chicken and a dessert one night and watch some award ceremony. And there's a live auction and there's typically a silent auction. But those things are typically like big packages and, it costs you $5,000 for any of that stuff. And I just don't think that should be the only way to raise money for a good cause. I think that you can go and you can micro-transaction charities. That's what we would do at NerdHQ. By the way, this all started, you should go and thank Nathan Fillion, because a lot of this started with Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion would come and do his panels at NerdHQ, which were already raising money and awareness for Operation Smile. And then he would bring a bag of crap. He would call it his bag of crap. He and Alan Tudyk would both do this. And they would just pull out random things, old Comic-Con badges, old scripts, whatever it was. And they would go, oh, okay, I got this old script from a pilot that never got picked up. I think that's worth at least $20. Anybody? And he would sign it and people would go crazy. $20, $40, $60, whatever it was. That was so much of the impetus of like, wow, we could be doing this all year long. We could be bringing joy to people all year long simply by just transmuting what would otherwise be considered something that might just go into a trash bin and instead now is in someone's possession that would love it because it's signed by their favorite celebrity, and knowing that the money that they spent on that all goes toward making the world a better place through healing people's hearts and minds. So go thank Nathan Fillion, go thank Alan Tudyk, go thank Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles and Stephen Amell, and who else were some of our stalwarts. We had guests that would come every year. We had guests we only were able to get 1 year, but it was always amazing. And the dance parties were epic. And if you weren't there, I'm sorry for you, because they really were legendary. However, like I said, I'm trying to get these events up and going again, and lots more dance parties to happen. So that's how you can help. How can you help right now? Anyone who wants to help NerdHQ, just get the word out. Tell everybody about it. Donate $1, $5, $10, whatever it is. I promise you, this is not a nonprofit that I've created to make money off of, nor are any of my staff. I have 2 official people working with and for me right now at NerdHQ. Actually, not even fully official. We haven't even inked all the contracts yet, but they are wonderful souls. Eric Artell and Brandon McCarver. Some of you out there know these wonderful men. Eric has been a brother of mine for years and years and years, and at the previous incarnation of NerdHQ was our warm-up guy, would do all of the kind of house rules, like making sure everybody knew what was going on when we were going to our panels, and saved my voice that I was often having to save because I was bouncing around doing projects and I would inevitably lose my voice every year anyway. But he's come on as my VP and executive director. And Brandon McCarver, he and his wife Angie were just these amazing volunteers that started volunteering with us in 2013. And Brandon's graciously come on board to be our director of community and volunteers. But those guys aren't going to be making a whole bunch of money either. I want you guys to understand that the money that comes into NerdHQ, we're not just one of those NGOs or nonprofits that's like, give us a bunch of money so we can go bring aid to the world, but then we're paying insane amounts of overhead just to pay salaries to all of our C-level executives and whatever all that is. Like, I have no intention of doing any of that. I just want to try and raise as much money as we can so we can go heal as many people as we can. That's the goal. And by the way, doing it in as fun a way as possible by having these fun events and dance parties and gaming and technology, edutainment type activations, like whatever we can do. So that's all I got for now on all that. But since I've got you guys on a live right now, happy to answer any more. Oh, you can go buy Nerch. We got Nerch. The Nerch is back. We got a limited run right now. There's a very, very limited run. So, if you want some, better go get some now. We will make more eventually, but we're going to see how these sales go. But all, the proceeds all go toward therapy for all. Oh. Waterloo coming out with their new mojito mocktail flavor. Not bad. Oh, not bad. But yes, if you want to go get some new merch, we got hoodies, we got long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, beanie, working on some hats. I don't know. We're trying to bring it all back. And then also, we're going to have volunteers, 2 by 2, go to every convention around the world. That's the goal, to go and interface with the convention proprietors and the convention agents and talent to try and get donations at these various conventions. So once we have a sign-up sheet for that, we'll be looking for at least 2 volunteers for every convention around the world, hopefully somebody that's local, right? Keeping overhead down so we don't have to fly you to these places and put you up in hotels in these places if you are locals and you're awesome and you have a good heart and it's not a matter of going to these things so you can get close to celebrities. It's a matter of going so you can appeal to them and say, hey, we're doing this for a good cause and we'd love for your help in this adventure. We'd love to work with you too. So we're going to get that out eventually. I just don't know exactly when. Some of you we're very excited that we are coming back, and we're under the impression that we will be back at San Diego Comic-Con this year. We will unfortunately not be back at San Diego Comic-Con this year. I may try to get back for next year. I don't know. As I alluded to earlier, it was it was basically made an inhospitable place for us to continue to do our event. So I don't know. Hopefully we can figure out how to make that a more hospitable place for us. So we'll see. We'll see. And if any of you work for any, by the way, corporations that want to help be sponsors or donors to NerdHQ, so that we can do more events. Part of the problem was that I was having a hard time getting sponsors for NerdHQ because a larger, different entity was threatening those sponsors and telling them that if they worked with us, then they wouldn't be able to work with them. And it was a real shame. It was a real shame. And it was all just because of ego and optics. And I wish that wasn't the case, but that's what went down. So hopefully that we'll be able to get around that. And maybe, you know, if we have enough donors and sponsors that want to help be a part of bringing NerdHQ back to the world, then we won't have to deal with that shit anymore anyway. So anyway, that's we could get you Mr. Beast. Yeah, you want to go talk to Mr. Beast? I would love it if Mr. Beast wanted to be a part of NerdHQ. Please go hit up Mr. Beast. Tell him that Zachary Levi would love to be his new best friend, and go do lots of cool stuff with him. I'd be super down for that. And yes, by the way, we've already talked to some of our friends at Fan Expo and at FanX and at GalaxyCon, and they are all being very open and receptive to helping us to go and operate at their conventions. So bravo to all of them and to everyone else we have yet to get to have a conversation with. We're looking forward to those conversations. Listen, I want to be able to be at peace with every convention. I want to be able to go have a good time and bring joy to people. It's one of the things I love the most about conventions. So, and this hopefully C2E2 will be hopefully talking to them soon as well. And the folks, I guess ReadPop do NYCC. Oh, they also do C2E2, right? Is that also ReadPop? Yeah. I don't know. We want to go to all of them, and we want to see all of you, and we want to bring you awesome activations and dance parties. What else? Any other questions I can answer while I'm on this live? Any other questions? We need stickers. Okay. All right. Noted. NerdHQ stickers. NerdHQ stickers. We're going to bring anything to Michigan. Certainly. I was actually just in, I was at a convention in Detroit. Where were you? LA Con. Yeah. I'd love to figure out doing something at LA Con. I will not. Will it be in the UK? I mean, I'd love for it to be in the UK. We're definitely going to have volunteers going to whatever conventions, give us access to the convention, so we can have volunteers collecting donations and things like that. But as far as having events in the UK, for me, the events themselves are best when they're kind of satellited off of another large event like San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con or South by Southwest or other cool big festival-y things. I think we could do a NerdHQ at really any of those types of things. And again, because everyone's nerdy about something, we could go and do a NerdHQ at South by Southwest that could be much more about music and musicians and also tech, because tech's a big part of it too. But bringing people intimate conversations with some of their favorite musicians and talking about their favorite music and process and then diving that into, as we would always do with our conversations for a cause, getting into much more, philosophical stuff and talking about life. That was one of my favorite things about all of those panels, hearing people uproariously laughing because so many funny things were happening, but then also on a dime being able to turn into something that was just really profound. I remember, Tom Hiddleston, waxing deeply philosophical. Chadwick Boseman, we were blessed enough to have Chadwick when he was still with us, and him talking about, his journey as an actor and as a man, and, all of that stuff was just wonderful. I always felt like our panels were kind of like a cross between Inside the Actors Studio, a TED Talk, and Between Two Ferns. Like it was always, oh, hey Maggie, baby, I love you. Yeah, so anyway, they're a lot of fun. I want to bring them all over the world. I want to bring them to all the cities and states in the U.S., and I want to bring them to all of the countries and cities around the world, because I think that they're positive. I think that they are good. I think that they bring good into the world, and it's why I've been fighting to bring it back for 7 years. I would have never stopped doing it, but that was out of my control. And then I really did feel like, well, in order to give us a better fighting chance, turning it into a 501c3, at least as a nonprofit, I'll get fucked with less. I'll get bullied less, hopefully. Because that was always a confusing thing back in the day. We were a for-profit company, Nerd Machine. We were trying to, make money and do well as a company. But we were raising tons of money for Operation Smile. And a lot of people didn't know that we were a for-profit company also raising money for nonprofit. And so that just started getting a little gray, and people even attacked us. And we would try to crowdfund our NerdHQ in 2013, which we did. By the way, we successfully did. So many of you out there helped us raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. We were still hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars short of our goal, but we were still able to use the money that we raised, and we were still able to do the event that year. But it was really sad because there were a lot of people, even within the nerd community, that were attacking us, that were slandering us literally on purpose, basically saying that we were trying to crowdfund a bunch of private parties that people weren't invited to, which was absolutely not true. NerdHQ, every single year of NerdHQ was a Friday night, Saturday, a Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night dance parties. And only on Friday night was it a private event. On Thursday night and Saturday night, it was open to the public. So 2/3 of the dance parties that we threw for everybody were for everybody. Only on Fridays was it a private event, and that was because, as someone who is a celebrity and who was always down at San Diego Comic-Con, and there were no good dance parties, and there were no good places as a celebrity where you could just go and really let your hair down, where you could go and have some drinks and get sweaty on a dance floor and not have everybody out with their phone and recording you the whole time. And so I just wanted to be able to give back to my community and say, hey, I have a safe place for you to come and to let your hair down and to have a good time, and no one's going to have a camera in your face. By the way, we didn't let the press in those parties. It wasn't supposed to be, it wasn't like some bougie elite thing. It was just a place where people could feel safe. And then we got slammed for it. We had other people who did not like what we were doing down there, and they wanted to drum up ill will. And it succeeded. And, it succeeded in part, but we were still able to continue to do the event. And it's been a journey, y'all. It has been a crazy journey. But 7 years on, spinning it into a 501c3, being able to relaunch it with these wonderful new partners at this company called Capture. I just want to shout out Capture. I was sitting with this 501c3 not knowing how to relaunch it because I didn't have anybody in my life that could help me do that. And then I ran into this wonderful soul named Ali Ellinger, at ACL last year, and she was helping me with some wristbands, and we got to talking, and I said, well, do you work for C3, the company who does the event? She's like, no, I used to work there. I just help now, but I work for this company called Capture. We help celebrities run their 501c3s. And I was like, oh my God, I've been looking for somebody just like you. And that was October, and now we're not even a year later. We're back and we're online, and by the way, we're going to continue to keep refining it and making it better per all of your suggestions. So if you have suggestions, feel free to send them in. We're listening. We want to create an online community that brings everybody together, where message boards and chat rooms or whatever it is, where there's real cohesiveness and connection there, and then have the events where all of you can step out from behind the screens and meet each other in real life and collide and connect and dance and celebrate life, because it's worth celebrating. It is worth celebrating. And listen, I fight for mental health because it matters. In fact, I think it's the most important thing that matters. As I said in the video on nerdhq.org, and I've said it before, guys, every single problem that we see in this world, all of the greed and murder and wars and everything, if you follow all that upstream, you wind up at an individual or a few individuals with broken hearts and broken minds. They're all operating out of unhealed trauma and ego and the incorrect vibrations, the lower vibrations that we needed to be walking around on in this life. And that leads them into all of these egoic power struggles and hubris and arrogance. We can heal all of it, and it's going to require just digging in and getting people the therapy that they need. And obviously, electing officials that aren't so broken and so led by their ego. That would help. But so, listen, I can't fight for anything more than that. I've gone through such an insane mental health journey of my own. A lot of you know that. Some of you don't. I wrote a book about it called Radical Love. You can go check that out. Also, by the way, there's a 60-day daily reader journaler called Go Love Yourself that's based on Radical Love. That's going to be coming out soon. And when it does, I'm going to go through it. Would love for you guys to go pick it up, and I'm going to go through it with everybody. I'm going to go through my own book, all 60 days, and we'll do lives and we'll talk about it, because I think not only is it important for everyone else, it's important for me. My mental health journey is one that I continue to be on. It's not just wham bam, you're healed and you're over the hump, guys. Healing is a whole lifetime of healing. And right when you think you might be, oh, I'm good, oh man, does life come and smack you around again, and you you continue to learn, and you continue to grow, and you continue to evolve and love yourself. I cannot stress it enough, guys. We got to love ourselves. And I know that sounds very abstract. I don't mean to sound abstract and vague about it, but to put that practically, to look at yourself in the mirror every day and recognize that you're doing your best and that you're not a failure, which is something I struggle with all the time. Even today, literally today, throughout the last few weeks, I have felt like a real big failure. And I don't mean to laugh about that. I'm laughing about it because I am grateful to be able to talk about it and be vulnerable with you 600 and, however, it's about 600 people that are with me online right now. But that's the truth. For the last few weeks, I've felt like a pretty sizable failure, because there are so many other things in this life that I've been trying to accomplish that I have yet to get up off the ground. But NerdHQ is not one of them. NerdHQ is now real again. It is here again. And I will fight with everything in me to make it good. Make it great. So that it can bless all of you as much as possible, so that it can bless as many people as it can. We're all given a platform. It's what we do with it. And I want to use my platform to go and do good. And you guys help me do it. You literally help me do it by supporting me, by believing in me, by supporting me and patronizing the movies and TV shows and video games and music that I'm a part of, and the events like NerdHQ, and now this nonprofit that is NerdHQ that I'm a part of. Every single one of you that says, I'm with you, I support you, I believe in you, I know that you're not just some shyster scammer who's trying to get money out of me. By the way, speaking of scammers, I can't believe I still have to say this, but apparently I still have to say this. Y'all, I still get DMs from people that are like, I got scammed by someone pretending to be you. There is no other me other than this account. There is no Zachary Levi _official. There's no Zachary Levi _ private DMs. If you're still being duped by those people, I'm sorry for you, but I'm not sorry. I've said it many times, and by the way, plenty of other celebs have said as well. Do not go and listen to any of those people that, by the way, have some of the most atrocious grammar. Like, that anyone thinks that those scammers are me is almost an insult. Like, I feel bad for you, but I feel bad for me, because you think that the weird broken English grammar that so many of these scammers are coming after you with is the way that I would. There's no punctuation. I mean, come on, guys. Look at my writings. I care. I heart you too, JR. I heart you big time. By the way, JR and Marcus, these are two of my brothers and business partners in Flow Supplements. If you have not gone and checked out Flow Supplements, I would love for you to do that too. It's a supplement company that JR and Marcus and I started 5 years ago now. That really was, I was looking around at the supplement world and proteins and greens and pre-workouts and all that stuff. And I realized that just so many of them are just garbage. They're just garbage, guys. They're full of proprietary fill. It's just like filler. They're cutting it with nonsense. They overcharge you for shittier ingredients. And I was like, that's got to stop. So I asked JR and Mark if they would help partner with me and make a better product, and they did. So go check out at FlowSupps, FLOWSUPPS, if you want to go check out our Instagram, or you can go to flowsupps.com. But we have all kinds of really, really good stuff. And I promise you, again, take my word for it or don't take my word for it. But I assure you that even that company, like our philosophy is that we're not trying to take advantage of you in any way, shape, or form. We're trying to run a business and make some money while we're doing it by doing all the work to bring you this great product. But we're giving you the best possible price for the highest level of ingredients, like seriously, the highest level of ingredients. And that tastes fantastic and it's really good for you. So, that's all we're trying to do. I want you to try our NMN Sup also. The federal government is being quite difficult with NMN right now because, shocker, it heals you, and that's not something that the pharmaceutical companies can patent just yet, so they don't want us selling it. But hopefully we'll be able to figure that out soon. Yeah, anyway, go check out FlowSupps. Go check out nerdhq.org. Go get some merch. Go make a donation. Go tell your friends about it. Oh, also, I'm in the process of trying to put together a Chuck rewatch podcast. Because aside from the fact that everyone else and their mom is doing it, I'm trying to activate you Chucksters out there to get you all back and activated and watching and listening to the podcast, so that I can get those analytics, those numbers. And I can bring them to Warner Brothers and I can say, look at all of these wonderful souls that are still interested in this IP that is Chuck. Because we need to convince them that you all care. And I think this podcast is going to help us do that. So when the podcast comes around, I hope that you patronize it as well. What else? Anything else I can answer right now for you people out there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do, 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 do. It really is a pretty good flavor. Mojito mocktail. Oh, hi. Hi, buddy. Oh, my dog Blue. My dog Blue is the most handsome. You are just the most handsome boy. I don't know other dog, stands a chance, really. It's Blue. It's Blue all day long. I owe you an EP of my performances? Well, listen, I've been trying to record some music for a minute now, guys. I'm sorry it's taking me a lot longer than expected. I was in LA months ago with that intention, but we make plans and God laughs, I guess. But I'm still trying. And it might not even be it'll be like maybe one song at a time. Who knows? I might just have to piecemeal it out like that. But that's what that is. I don't know if we're going to get any more Shazam. I've been asked that quite a lot. I don't know. It's all well above my pay grade. You might get more Shazam. I don't know if it'll be me. But I would love to. I love playing that role. Such a fun role. And really appreciate all of you out there who did watch and enjoy our little movies that we made. Well, they already got a new Reed Richards for the Fantastic Four movie. They're filming it already. It's Pedro Pascal, right? Very talented man. No Austin events planned at the moment, but hopefully get something like that going soon. Anything else? Harold and the Purple Crayon comes out August 2nd. August 2nd. Spy Kids Universe? I don't know. You should message Robert Rodriguez. I don't know what's going on with that franchise, but I know the idea originally was to make multiples, so we'll see. Website for NerdHQ is nerdhq.org. www.nerdhq.org. Because it's a nonprofit now, so like we can have the .org. Do you know what I mean? Thank you. Appreciate you digging the beard. I'm making this really wonderful movie right now. We're in pre-production, but we're going to go into production soon. It's called Sarah's Oil. It's an incredible true story. And the world just doesn't know it, and we can't wait to make it and tell that story and bring it to the world. So yeah, and that's what all this is for, because I play this guy named Bert, who's a wildcatter from Texas. He's a Texas old man. He knows how to get oil up out the ground. And I felt like this kind of longer hair and this beard, this is all going to be much more Bert than me. I got my grazes poking through, you know. Anything else? Anything else I could do you for? You know what? I got a few more minutes here. I got a few more minutes for the top of the hour. I could give it. Do I miss Yvonne Strahovski? Of course I miss Yvonne Strahovski. I miss Josh Gomez and Ryan McPartlin and Adam Baldwin and Sarah Lancaster and Vic and Scott and Mark and everybody. We had guys, this is one of the most special families I've ever been a part of was that Chuck family. Which is why I've been trying to make Chuck movies since before we even finished the series. I could see even then, before everybody else started making movies of their series, I was like, we should be making movies of Chuck movies. Every episode of the show was basically a mini 80s action movie anyway. It lends itself to making more installments of that. So it's just a matter of showing Warner Brothers that the audience, that you guys are out there. You know, everyone's afraid to make anything now because they're afraid that nobody's going to go see what it is. We got a lot of Hollywood is real broken, guys. It's been broken for a really long time, but it's real broken right now. And AI is about to that'll be the nail in the coffin. AI is really, I think, about to entirely destroy not just our industry, but every industry. Not to be too doom and gloom, but yeah. But I'm going to save all that AI stuff for another live, another day, because that's just a lot. But I can't stress it enough. You know, once we have a technology that thinks even more advanced than a human mind can, and we're only a few years away from that being an actual development. And once we have robotics that are incredible and malleable and can kind of move and operate in whatever way we would want them to, which we basically already have now, but will be even more incredible in the next few years, you can marry that AI and those robotics and you can simulate anybody's job, anyone's job, and do it better in a lot of ways. And as far as like actors and movies and TV shows, I mean, in 5 years, anyone will be able to just sit on their keyboard and say, I want a movie that looks and feels like this, enter, and then that will happen. So, you know, what I'm trying to do is safeguard human-made content. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a movie studio and a distribution platform that will safeguard human-made content, because I don't know a lot of other people that are too concerned about it to even want to be trying to do that. But I am very concerned. I am very concerned. And I've been trying to tell people that, but because once you can record, by the way, live performance, whether it's like live singing or Broadway. I mean, that'll last a little bit longer until holograms get so good that people want to watch hologram shows, which is already a thing. You can go see ABBA right now as holograms. And apparently it's amazing. And I love ABBA. I don't think that I don't see them as having kind of like as contributing to the downfall as much as the technology itself is just going to continue to be what it is. But, anything that's recorded, any movie, TV show, video game, music, any of that stuff is all digital asset. And if it's a digital asset, it goes through a computer. And if a computer, 3 to 5 years, computer graphics, I mean, right now, Unreal Engine produces photorealistic level of graphics, essentially. And that's only going to get exponentially better. Like, not stair step. We're already up this on the graph right here, like straight up. And that photorealism is just going to get better and better and better over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to the point where it will be indiscernible, guys. Indiscernible from real life. Which means we're also going to have to be very, very, very careful about the news that we're watching. By the way, we should all be very careful about the news we're watching right now. Seriously, most of what's coming out of the mainstream media, and by that I mean legacy media, any of the news channels on television. By the way, and on both sides of the aisle, it's so corrupted. It's so captured. It's captured. Lobbyists have been buying off the media and our politicians for a long time. So anyway, but soon deepfakes are going to get out of control. Like, you won't even know what's real and what's not anymore. I mean, honestly, right now, if you're watching television, I've caught myself doing this a few times now, where if I'm somewhere and they are playing commercials, because I don't typically watch anything with commercials, but occasionally I do, if it's like a live sporting event or something, and a commercial comes on, and I'm watching the commercial, and to be perfectly honest, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the way it's shot. I'm looking at the way it's edited, even like the faces of the actors that are on it that look live action. But I'm like, honestly, like, I'm looking around. I'm like, this could be totally AI generated, and we wouldn't even know it. And that's right now. Like, right now, you could look at commercials on TV, and if you're really being honest with yourself, knowing the capability of what you've seen Soros and other AI video engines do, you could look at these commercials and be like, it's basically that. It's basically that. We're basically there, right? And that's just for kind of cheaper, low level, what would be animation or production. But a year from now, 2 years from now, it's going to look so good that it will be able to emulate the most amazing cinematography ever done, with the most incredibly dynamic lighting and everything. And I mean, this is where we're headed, guys. It's where we're headed. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm trying to wake us up. We got to wake up. Got to wake up. The news does not want you awake. Your politicians do not want you awake. I mean it. They don't. Because when we're awake, we're not fighting each other. We're holding them accountable, and they don't like that. And they want us all to just kind of check out and be distracted with all the social media and check out into VR and do all the things and never hold them accountable, never realize what the heck's going on in the world right now. And what is going on in the world right now is AI big time. Big time. And when you see people saying stuff like, I've seen multiple videos of people basically glibly and sarcastically attacking people like myself for being way overreacting to what's going on with AI. Like, guys, AI is not a problem. And they start citing its capability, not even right now, but like, let's say a couple of months ago. Those people clearly don't understand technology. They don't understand AI or technology and exponential growth of technology. They do not understand. This is not something that's 50 years from now. This is 5 years from now, if that, before you start seeing your industry drastically changed. And some of these industries will be improved in some ways, perhaps, because I don't think AI is whole cloth bad. I think AI is as good as we condition and guide it to be. I just unfortunately don't believe in the leaders that are going to control a lot of this AI. The people that will be wielding its power regularly don't care about us. Look at all of our industries right now. Ask yourself, do they care more about people or profits? Right now, in this moment, everyone is watching, 625 people. Ask yourself, regardless of the country, the state that you live in, anywhere in the world, I think the US is probably worse than a lot of other countries as far as our corporate lobbying capture. But look at the top industries in your country. Do they care more about doing the right thing or maximizing profits? People or profits. And by people, it's like, it's life. It's the miracle of life. The only real fucking miracle, the only real thing that's worth anything is this miracle. Everything else is manufactured and marketed and everything else. This life, human, animal, plant life, this thing, do the top people, top industries, do they care more about that? Or do they care more about maximizing their profits at any cost, including killing all of this? Because that's what I see. And that's not trying to vilify everyone who even is in all of these industries. I know most of these industries are made up of really decent people who are just trying to make a living, to support themselves and their families. I understand that. But that doesn't mean there's not still people at the top of the food chain who are making very active decisions, knowing full well that downstream of those decisions is going to be a lot of bad shit for a lot of us. And so when all of a sudden now they have a technology that helps them to cut workforce, which is one of their biggest line items, guys, their workforce, their payroll, if they can start laying people off and having things automated so that they don't have to pay humans to do it, do you think they're going to do that or not going to do that? That's all I got. So we've gone through, guys, this was a lot. We went through a lot today. We went through a lot. Thank you for being with me, as always. Thank you for your love and your support. Please go to nerdhq.org. Please go to flowsubs.com. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for years and years of believing in me and fighting for me, even when there are voices out there that would want to cancel me and dehumanize me and vilify me. For all of you who have stayed with me and believed in me, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And let's keep charging forward, and let's go help heal all the hearts and minds of all those people that would want to cancel us and want to create strife and hardship in this world, because they are worthy also of God's love. They are also worthy of getting healed. As much as I might fucking despise some of them and certainly what they are doing in this world, they are children of God, and they are worthy of love and being and worthy of the healing that comes with that love. So that's all I got. Love you guys. We'll talk to you real soon.